Hey guys, what's going on? Nightharo here, and today I am bringing you the last video in the four-part series on stealing in Murkmire. So here we're going to be in Deadwater Village. This is a small village that's in the northwest of the zone, and this is probably one of my favorite areas in Murkmire to steal. The only issue with it is that it bugs out routinely. So I don't know if you guys saw the video on stealing in Shimmerine at the monastery there, but you basically go inside of the monastery and you can't really leave. If you leave and you come back, oftentimes the NPCs will show as being empty or not having anything, and that can be really frustrating and kind of a bummer, and it kind of ruins the whole route. So I found, even though this is open world technically, that I have had the same issue here in Murkmire. So specifically in this one area in the Deadwater Village. So make sure if you do come here that you go ahead and do your whole route, that you've got your bags, you know, fairly empty, and that you've got room, and you don't have to leave and come back, because you'll probably find that it bugs out on you. And I've even had that when I log in days later. It normally solves itself, and if you get on a different character, it'll be fine, but it is kind of a bummer. You know, it's kind of weird that there are these issues with ESO in general, where there's, you know, quite a few bugs, to be honest, that really need to be fixed, and some of them are pretty old and have never been fixed. But it's still, you know, the reason a lot of people really get down on that and really kind of hate on ZOS for what they've done, and I don't know, maybe that's valid criticism, but one of the things I find so interesting that I actually do like about ESO is that it's really immersive. If you want to really like get into an RPG, it'll do it for you. Like it's a great place. You know, when you go to this whole zone, this whole Murkmire area, when I was kind of exploring it to do all these videos that I've done so far just on this zone, you know, there's no Argonian nobles, because that doesn't make sense for the story. So you'll find nobles here, but when you find nobles, they're almost always high elves or something else, or Imperials or something. And the same with all these different areas. They all kind of make sense, right? There's a bunch of fighters here. They're all training. If you go check out some of the other videos, you'll find a fishing village. You'll find that there's other areas where the Argonians are kind of doing what you would expect Argonians to be doing. And I personally just find those asymmetries to be really interesting and to add to the immersion and the story. Here I'm just indicating that you can go in there. There's some bait in there, I believe, and like maybe one to steal, but not a whole lot, so I usually just skip it. And if I'm looking for bait, you can check out my my bait guide. It's the previous video from this in the series, and I'll show you where to get considerably more bait than what you get, and so it's just kind of not worth it to go into that room. But anyways, to get back to what I was saying, I really like that these areas are not all the same, that there's not a major city where you can just go through and steal in every zone. Like I do want that sometimes. I would like to see more stuff with the Thieves Guild, more stuff with the Dark Brotherhood, and kind of tying it in and expanding upon those quests and stuff like that. Because they do that with achievements. You know, there's stealing achievements, there's fishing achievements in all these new zones. But it would be nice if there was actually, you know, storyline progression continuing in all those zones. And I've heard rumors, I intentionally haven't looked, but they did a little bit more with that with the coming Blackwood expansion. Not to like fanboy out too much, but one of the other things that I really like is that, you know, many of the other games I played, and there's starting to be more now, but historically you couldn't really role play or become a certain character, and you're allowed to just customize your character so much in ESO. People make their characters, they'll be like, I've seen a tank show up to a trial and he was wearing legit gear, but he looked like he was just a commoner from the, you know, whatever, 1400s or something, but he happens to also be an Argonian. And I just thought that was really cool. It looked, everything went along with it. And you can do so much with the style and stuff like that. And so there's so much customization. I think it's why a lot of role players really get into the game, and I think it's also why a lot of people that don't think they're role players get into it as well. So what I mean by that is that I had a friend tell me the other day, is like, you know, like I log on and I was messing with my character, with what he looked like, his style pages and stuff like that, and trying to get a certain look, and then, like, you know, he's a necromancer and I want to make, you know, one of my houses like his area, so I'm going to make it look like a necromancer. And this is someone who's never role played at all and is totally just an in-game raider. And it's like I've pointed out to him before, so they realized that when I started to say something, but I was like, you realize what that makes you? And he's like, yeah, I'm starting to get into RP. So anyways, that's enough of my rambling. I've shown you the whole route there. That was just a Thieves Trove area there, and I'm just heading back to the way shrine now. So yeah, that's it for this video, guys. We'll catch you the next one. Oh yeah, make sure like and subscribe. I'm supposed to say that it's obligatory if you're on YouTube.